War doesn't end with silence, and Trump knows that. It never has. It ends with decisive action, with bold strategies that change the course of history forever. What we need to know is whether Trump will end the war in Ukraine and whether he will actually invade Venezuela and capture that dictator. Let's study some history, and at the end of this video, leave your thoughts in the comments. Today, as the war in Ukraine enters yet another bloody chapter, the world is asking the same old question: when will this end? The truth is brutal. Wars don't end just because people are tired. They end when someone forces them to. Let's look back. In World War II, peace didn't come because Hitler decided to stop. Peace came because Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy, pushed through Europe, and crushed the Nazi war machine. During the Cold War, the Berlin Wall didn't fall because communism suddenly decided to be kind. It fell because Western pressure, strategy, and economic force broke the system down from within. Now, Ukraine finds itself caught in a nightmare, a war that's draining resources, destroying infrastructure, and testing the patience of the world. Billions of dollars have been spent, thousands of lives have been lost, and yet the map barely moves. For every advance, there's a counterattack. For every negotiation, there's a betrayal. History shows us, stalemates are only broken by leaders with the courage to end the game, not play it forever. And while Europe trembles, another storm brews in the Americas, Venezuela. A country rich in oil, yet crippled by corruption, dictatorship, and poverty. Its people flee in millions. Its leaders hold onto power with an iron grip. Many believe that regime change there is not a question of if, but when. And here's the most uncomfortable truth. Peace in both Ukraine and Venezuela won't come from endless speeches or hollow promises. It will come from decisive moves, the kind that risk everything but secure history. In one of the most symbolic displays of power in recent history, during the Alaska summit where Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin, the United States sent its most powerful bomber flying at that exact moment. It wasn't just a military maneuver, it was a message. A reminder to Russia and to the world of the unmatched reach of American air power. And while Putin kept his poker face, the ripple effect went far beyond Moscow. Leaders like Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela felt the weight of that signal too. For a regime already living in fear of collapse, the sight of America flexing its strategic muscle was enough to plant serious doubts about how long they could hold on. Power isn't only about weapons, it's about timing, psychology, and sending a message no one can ignore. What do you think? Was this a smart move of psychological warfare or an unnecessary show of force? Men understand this at their core. It's why we look back at D-Day, at Desert Storm, at the capture of Saddam Hussein, and realize wars end when someone takes the fight to the enemy, when leaders refuse to accept stalemate, when someone has the guts to say, enough. But let me ask you this, are today's leaders prepared for that? Do they have the mindset to finish wars, not just manage them? Because finishing wars isn't about maintaining the status quo, it's about flipping the board completely. And if history repeats itself, we will see it again. Decisive strategies, fast strikes, and yes, even the possibility of capturing hostile leaders before they can react. Imagine what it would mean if a corrupt dictator suddenly disappeared from power overnight. Imagine the chain reaction. Now this isn't fantasy, it's history. This is how wars have always been won. When Alexander the Great marched through Persia, he didn't negotiate city by city. He cut through the empire until the enemy leadership collapsed. When the United States fought in the Pacific, it wasn't about occupying every island, it was about taking strategic strongholds and forcing Japan's hand. And even in modern times, targeted operations, fast, precise, and overwhelming, have decided wars before they even began. Ukraine and Venezuela are not just random names on a map. They are ticking clocks in the modern world. Ukraine decides the future of Europe. Venezuela decides the balance of power in Latin America. And both remind us of one thing. Wars are not ended by hesitation, they are ended by action. So here's the big question. What will the next turning point look like? Will it be a dramatic push that forces Russia to the negotiation table? Will it be a sudden collapse of power in Venezuela? Or will the world simply sit back and let chaos drag on for years? History tells us one thing: when decisive action is delayed, millions suffer. But when decisive action is taken, everything changes overnight. And that's why you can't afford to ignore these stories. Because whether you like it or not, these conflicts will shape the next decade of your life. If you want to understand how wars are really ended, how leaders prepare for decisive moves, and how the world changes in a single night, then this is the channel for you. This is 5 minutes of war and weapons history. And here, we don't just watch history, we break it down, we explain it, we expose it. So do the smart thing, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends, and don't miss the next breakdown of the strategies and weapons that are shaping our world right now. Because one day soon, the map will change. And when it does, you'll remember that you heard it here first.